Hello, I'm Richard Vobes, the Bald Explorer, and welcome to my Sunday Chat. This is the Sunday Chat for the 9th of January 2021. And the year has already started, and things are looking a bit, well, difficult, aren't they? We've gone into another lockdown and we've got to try and muddle our way through this. We hope that it's the last one, it's the last pull as we get these vaccines out to the necessary people that need them, and hopefully that will sort it all out. Well, we are where we are, and we've got to just sort of cope with it, I suppose. And of course, the job of the Bald Explorer, as far as I can see, is to try and keep you entertained throughout this period, as well as when we're back in normal and do normal things. So, on today's chat, there's a certain amount of books involved in today's chat, so I hope that's all right. I'm in receipt, actually, of some lovely books that have been sent in to me, and I just want to go through some of them, if that's all right. Firstly, I had this wonderful card from a lady called Woody Jenny, and she's been watching the show for a while. It's a lovely card. I won't read the whole card out, but she's praising what we're doing, which is great. And she has sorted out some books for the lovely Julia and myself. And I think these will be an inspiration for us for many of the videos that are coming up. So that's why I thought I would share them. So here's a couple of little nice, simple books. Poisonous Plants, this one in the UK, in Great Britain. So I can imagine that Julia and I could go launching off looking for poisonous plants and learning something about that. I'm desperate to learn more about the wild flowers in our country, so that would be great. It's good to know what you can't eat. And then here, a book called A Hedgerow Cookbook. So this is the reverse. This is ones in which you can nip into the different parts of the countryside in different seasons and find stuff that you can forage and cook with, which would be fantastic. So it's got spring recipes. I don't know if there's any winter recipes in there. I'll have to have a look. Roots and nuts and autumn. Well, I guess there must be some winter ones. So I want to concentrate a little bit on the seasons this year as we go into them and have a look at what's going on. I find that if I make a video about something, it helps me to learn about the subject. So we have here the Hedgerow Handbook, which again is another book which gives you recipes, remedies and rituals. So it'll be interesting to find out more about this as we get into the spring and these things start to grow. Especially as we may not be able to travel so far and go all around Britain and all those things that we wanted to do. I mean, we weren't able to do it last year, and it's been a bit of a trial so far this year, but maybe locally we can find interesting things that will also be reflected where you are, and we can share our knowledge, which would be fantastic. Another book that Woody Jenny sent here is An Ode to the Countryside, and this is lovely. It's some beautiful old poems from all different periods, including those by Chaucer and Shelley and various other authors, many of which I'd never heard of. That might lend itself to a little bit of wandering and exploring the countryside in poetry. I'm not very good at understanding poetry, but it is something that I would love to get to grips with in our literary history. So thank you for that. That's really lovely. The Collins Guide to Animal Tracks. Yes, you do see them on the ground, don't you? It'd be lovely to recognise what animal made what stuff, particularly in the mud and in snow. Not that we've actually had any snow as yet down here in West Sussex where I am, but things like bark gnawing can give you an indication. Just becoming a little bit more au fait, I suppose the word is, with the nature and the wildlife and the creatures that we don't normally see. So that's really nice. And then there's a couple of these books. These are older books. I think these are aimed at children, and they look great. A Romany in the Country, Romany from the BBC in the 1930s. There must have been a gentleman, and I don't know about this, but I think this is a children's book, and it tells you all about the history of wild animals and things like that, which is great to teach the kids. We don't teach them enough of that these days. So thank you very much, Woody Jenny, for those. That's been absolutely brilliant. And I find books very much an inspiration for me, and they give me ideas for the Bald Explorer. So very much looking forward to that. Now, I've been buying a couple of books, second-hand books, online, because that's the only way. I thought that was going to fall in. That's the only way one can do it in these difficult times. Trying to find second-hand bookshops that you can go in locally is not so easy. Although we do have a fantastic bookshop in Worthing called Badger Books, which is brilliant. And I was trying to find some books on the seasons just to sort of gen up a little bit and give me some inspiration as well. I found one here called An Illustrated Country Year, with some very beautiful pictures in it with various different plants and flowers and things like that, which I have got a number of these. So they're just, the sort of things that you pick up and you have a look in and you go, oh, yes, that's interesting. And then if I can go and make a video, then that's so much better. This one is from the BBC, when they used to do some amazing stuff, The Great British Year. Now, I never saw the TV series because, of course, I don't have a television and I've no longer got a TV license. But sometimes it's nice, these wonderful and beautiful illustrated coffee table books, I suppose they're called, which, again, gives you ideas and suggestions and things to look out for. So hopefully, I'm hoping that will help me make some interesting videos in the future, as well as the walks and all the other bits and bobs. For me, it's part of this, apart from trying to entertain, is to educate myself and pass that knowledge as I get it on. So that's great. Somebody suggested, and to be honest with you, I can't remember who it was now, because I get a lot of suggestions and I do try to make a note of them. But somebody suggested this book, The Wonderful Weald by Arthur Beckett, as a potential book to read in our Listen with Vobes. Now, if you're not familiar with the Listen with Vobes, let me just quickly tell you. Listen with Vobes is a new YouTube channel, but we've been running. Now, you may remember, you may have seen, I've been doing some reading of old books during the first lockdown, trying to find ways to keep people entertained, seeing as they're all locked up. And I thought, well, I could read some books. So those people who are interested in books about travel, particularly, we did a lot of that. And we've gone through a number of books from authors from the old days in the 30s, people like H.V. Morton and J.B. Priestley and L.T.C. Rolt and many others. Walter Wilkinson, of course, and we're hoping, if we manage by the spring to get out of the situation that we're all in, to make this reenactment film about Walter Wilkinson's travels round Sussex with his Punch and Judy and puppet show. And you may have seen the videos that we've been doing on that. And we hope to do a recreation that's coming up very soon. And so the Listen with Vobes channel is dedicated to reading some of these old books. At the moment, we're reading a book by Norman Collins called Children of the Archbishop, which is a kind of farce, really, 1950s farce. It is hilarious, and everybody seems to be enjoying that. It's a fiction book, which is a slight deviation from what we've been doing, but we're going to go back to the travel books as well. So that's another book to put on the list of things. As you know, I'm a bit of a book fiend, so that's great. Something else, one of our viewers, Nikki, otherwise known on YouTube as Nootka Seaglass. I know it's an unusual name, and I struggle to get my mouth round it, but I managed in the end. She is a herbalist, and she saw my video that I was where I was doing a bit of cogitation as I was walking, talking about sleep and whether people were getting enough sleep and how important sleep was and those things. And so she's very kindly sent me in some herbs which are supposed to help me to try out, and I will try them out on the show and make some videos about this, herbs to see how well it helps you sleep. So I might try some of these out, maybe report back in the Vobes show, which is another of the channels that I run. So there's lots of different types of herbs here that mix together. Passion flower and passiflora. I have to say I've never heard of that one. What else have we got here? Lavender and lavandula. I hope these are ringing bells with you. Chamomile. And what else have we got? There is a lemon balm, Melissa, I think that's called, and officinalis. I'm not very good at these strange names, as you appreciate. But I thought I'd try one now on the show as I record. This is hops, humulus, and lupins. They're all mixed up in this tiny little pouch, and you put a little bit into boiling water, and you're supposed to drink this before you go to bed, and it's supposed to make you relax and go to sleep quite well. Now, I don't normally have that much of a problem, but I do sometimes wake up about 3-ish, and sometimes that I'll wake up and start thinking about things, and they'll play on my mind. So I'm just going to try some of this. This is the well, I forgot what it was. Hops. Oh yes, this was the hops, humulus, and lupins. Let me just give that a sample, see what we reckon. And it's just mixed with water, and it's a very sort of subtle flavour. But it's a bit like a green tea, really, but without the acrid. You know, some green teas can be quite taut, can't they? I have to say, that's very nice. If you see me nodding off in the rest of this video, do let me know. Very relaxing. So I should try those and just keep reporting back on that. That's good. She's also given me some sachets of various different powders. Now, these are a blend of 8 different powders based on my activity levels and age. And these are, I guess these are various different herbs and things, including, oh my goodness, rosehip, milk thistle, beetroot, ginger, cranberry, nettle, and pumpkin. And these do things like give you vitamin C, they help your liver, they strengthen bone, reduce urinary tract bacteria, increase energy, and provide healthy skin, and various things like that. So I should be reporting about that either in separate video or in the Vobes show, which would be a good place to do all that kind of stuff and keep people in. But I just wanted to say thank you so much, Nikki, for sending that in. That's very kind of you. I know a lot of people will be curious about that, especially in this time where health, of course, is something that people are very much focused on. And so it's worth exploring some of that. What else is on my magic list here? So because we're in lockdown, it's very difficult at the moment to get to the further afield places on my Sussex border walk. So I feel that I may have to just reduce that activity, plus the fact we're going into the coldest part of the winter, where it is the most miserable part. So I may curtail some of that, and I'm sorry about that. I want to get on with it, and because it is quite a long old journey. But at the same time, because of the style and the way of filming it, I want it to look its best. So as we get towards the spring, I'm hoping that we will see Sussex and the border at its best. So we'll just hold back a little bit on that, but don't panic. I will be continuing with that. So we'll do that. What else do I want to tell you about? The Vobes show, of course, I've mentioned, and we're bringing into it a new feature. If you're one of those that follow the Vobes show, people make videos and they send them in, which is fantastic. So it's not just me making the videos, this is the audience making the videos of where they are and sharing their walks and things they're getting up to. But also this year we've added art. If anyone's arty or crafty and making things and want to share the story about that, then that's great. We've got a lovely community now, and we get quite good numbers watching the live show and then afterwards. And it's a fun show with lots of people contributing and taking part, which is lovely. And of course, it's grown during the lockdown because more people are at home. And I want to say a big special thanks to Chris from North Somerset, who very generously has sent me a new mobile phone. It's 2 years old, second hand, but to me it's new. and it works a treat so that people can call in, and of course we can record conversations and things. I used to have this old phone of mine, which I don't know if you can see on that, but it's got a broken screen and it's got sellotape all over it, and it is quite an old phone that I was using. But Chris said he'd had a phone, he didn't have any use for it, he was only going to get rid of it, and he thought of me and he sent it in. And so thank you very much, Chris. I very much appreciate that. And that leads me on very nicely to, if you're a patron of the Bald Explorer and all the things that we do, then you get a weekly In Conversation With podcast. That's me in conversation on audio for about 45 minutes with usually somebody. At the moment it's people I know or people who are new to the show, but we will be spreading out with people I don't know, of course. And it's a lovely conversation, finding out about, I don't know, we just mull over a topic, any old topic, and we find out a bit about the people. It's great fun. And Chris is very kindly, he's got a lovely Somerset lilt to his voice, and he's very kindly said that he would be one of my callers that I talk to. So this Sunday, to the patrons on the mailing list, if you subscribe, patrons, you will get a conversation with a lady who's otherwise known as Josh. Some of those are part of her initials. And we're talking about a whole load of different things, but also the difficulty of selling a house, especially when you have lots of siblings and the lengths that you go to. So it's an interesting conversation, I can tell you. And also I've recorded another one with Nikki, who is Nootka Seaglass, about herbalism and all sorts of other things, and that will be on the following Sunday. So lots to look forward to. And finally, in my Sunday chat, I just want to remind you that the Bald Explorer has the Bald Explorer group on Facebook. And this is a place where you can share photographs and videos and interact with fellow members. It's all about heritage, landscape and nature. And because we've gone into lockdown and people often feel a little bit isolated, we just want to reassure that if people have problems, if they're feeling a bit lonely or whatever, it is worth trying to make some friends with members on the group, because people will rally round. It's been going now for a couple of years. There's a nice membership. And the whole community, really. I don't do very much in the group myself, because it is really very much for the fans and people to do that. But I pop in, I make my videos and things and what have you. But it is a place, a safe place, where if you're slightly worried, and we do make sure, thanks to Julia and Judith principally as our admins, but also Matthew Holdsworth is there as well, just to make sure that everybody is safe and looked after. So if you're feeling a bit down, check out the Bald Explorer Facebook group. It is one of those good groups out there, I have to say. So there we go. That's my little Sunday chat. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been interesting at the very least. I will be going out making my videos, just to reassure you. This is my job. I know some people have difficulty understanding what that means when I'm out and about, but also I can go and exercise and make the videos. We did it through all the other lockdowns, and I get so many emails and so many good comments from people who appreciate this, and thank you so much. Do keep those coming, because it does help me to reassure myself that I'm doing a good service for everybody by bringing the outdoors to those who can't get out. So thank you very much for that. So there we go. Have a great Sunday, or whatever day it is that you watch this, and I will catch you out and about. And if this is the first time you've seen this, then don't forget to follow, like and subscribe. You'll get more. And remember, if you're a patron, you'll get the extra bonus podcast each week. So there you go. That's it. I shall drink some more of my lovely herbal drink and probably have a doze afterwards. So look after yourself, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.